You're not addicted to your phone. You're addicted to the only interesting thing in your day. By the end of this video, you'll have a three-part system. I call it the Spark Method for redesigning your daily life so that scrolling becomes the boring option, not through another screen time limit or app detox, through something the algorithm genuinely cannot compete with. And you can start using it tonight. Here's where we actually are right now. The average person picks up their phone 96 times a day. That's once every 10 minutes. And the apps we use most, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, are built by teams of behavioral scientists whose entire job is to make putting your phone down feel like losing. They study your patterns. They adjust in real time. They are operating at a level of sophistication that most of us genuinely don't appreciate. And yet, there are people who seem completely unbothered. Not monks, not minimalists, just regular people who are genuinely, visibly engaged with their real lives. They're not fighting the phone. They don't seem tempted by it. You've probably met one and wondered what their secret is. We are in the middle of a boredom epidemic, not because life is objectively boring, but because most of us were never taught how to design a day that actually pulls us forward. We're running a formula that doesn't work and blaming ourselves for the results. This video is about changing the formula. Before we get into the system, I want to share something that genuinely shifted the way I see this problem. In 2014, psychologist Timothy Wilson at the University of Virginia ran a study. They put people alone in a room for 15 minutes, no phone, no books, and nothing to do but sit quietly with their own thoughts. And then they gave participants an option. They could keep sitting, or they could press a button that would deliver a mild electric shock. 67% of the men in the study chose to shock themselves rather than sit alone with nothing to do. Sit with that for a second. People chose physical pain over the absence of stimulation. That is not a phone problem. That is not a willpower problem. That is a human brain that is starving for engagement and reaching for anything it can find. Which means the real question isn't, how do you stop scrolling? It's how do you feed your brain something better? Most of us treat fun like it's weather. It either shows up or it doesn't. Some people just have interesting lives. Some people don't. And that's just how it is. Like fun is a personality trait you're either born with or you aren't. That belief is completely wrong. And holding on to it is costing you more than you realize. Fun is a design problem, not luck. Ride that again. Fun is a design problem, not luck, not personality, not circumstance. The people who have engaging, full, genuinely exciting days did not stumble into that life. They built it, deliberately, piece by piece. And there is a system for doing exactly that. And that's what we're getting into right now. Here is the first thing you need to understand about your brain. It was not built for comfort. It was built for challenge. Most of us spend enormous energy arranging our lives for maximum comfort. Familiar routines, easy commutes, low friction days. And then we wonder why we feel restless and empty and weirdly tired even when nothing hard happened. Comfort doesn't energize the brain. It maintains it. And a maintained brain is a bored brain. Neuroscientist Dr. Gregory Burns at Emory University ran studies on what he calls the neuroscience of novelty, how the brain responds to new, unpredictable, or slightly challenging experiences. And what he found was striking. Novel experiences trigger dopamine in a fundamentally different way than routine does. Routine produces baseline. Novelty produces a spike. The brain isn't just more engaged by new things. It actively anticipates them. It creates a reward loop around them. It goes looking for them. And here's what this means for your scroll habit. Your phone is a novelty machine. Every swipe delivers a new image, a new opinion, a new face, a new piece of information. Your brain isn't choosing the phone because you're weak or undisciplined. Your brain is choosing the phone because the phone is offering something your actual life isn't. A reliable novelty hit on demand, with zero setup cost. 99% of people try to beat the phone by removing novelty, digital detox, grayscale screens, app timers. The top 1% beat the phone by flooding their real life with better novelty instead. Think about the last time you were genuinely learning something new, or in the middle of a project you actually cared about, or trying something for the first time. Did you scroll during those moments? Probably not, because real life novelty doesn't just compete with the phone, it replaces the need for it entirely. The second thing to understand is this: fun isn't just about novelty, it's about identity. This one is subtle, so once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Psychologist Mahalyi, the researcher who spent 30 years studying what makes human beings feel genuinely alive, is best known for discovering the concept of flow, that deeply engaged state where time dissolves, you forget to check your phone, and you feel more like yourself than at almost any other moment. But his most underrated finding wasn't about the activities themselves. It was about how people described themselves in relation to those activities. People who reported consistently high levels of daily satisfaction and engagement shared one pattern in how they talked about what they did. They didn't say, "I'm trying to read more." They said, "I'm a reader." They didn't say, "I've been meaning to get back into running." They said, "I'm a runner." They didn't frame their interests as aspirations. They framed them as identity. And that shift from behavior to identity changes everything about how you make decisions. Because identity isn't something you do, it's something you protect. 0.99% of people build habits. The top 1% build identities. And identity creates pull that habits never can. Here's why this is the heart of the scroll problem. When your sense of self is thin, when you don't have a strong, specific identity that you're actively inhabiting every day, the phone fills that gap. Not just with entertainment, with belonging, with tribe, with a sense of being part of something. The algorithm is selling you identity on borrowed time. And the only way to stop buying it is to build one that's genuinely yours. What that looks like in practice is simple but not easy. You choose one domain, one version of yourself you're becoming, and you spend 20 minutes a day actually being that person. Not following 20 knowns, not following accounts about it, not watching videos about it. Actually doing it, writing, building, moving, creating, making something with your hands. The identity anchor makes every single day feel directional, like it's going somewhere. And when life feels like it's going somewhere, boredom loses its grip, because boredom only survives in stagnation. I call it the SPARK method, your three-pillar system for designing days that are genuinely irresistible. And the whole thing is built on one idea: fun is a design problem, not a luck problem. Here's how you solve it. Pillar 1. Stimulate with novelty. Every week, you add one experience your brain hasn't had before. Not a vacation, a micro novelty, a new route home, a recipe from a country you've never visited, a 20-minute conversation with someone completely outside your usual circles. Dr. Burns's research tells us that novelty alone is enough to reroute dopamine pathways, which means your brain starts anticipating your real life instead of your feed. Small and consistent beats big and occasional every time. Pillar 2. You choose one domain, one version of yourself you are actively becoming, and you spend 20 minutes a day being that person. Not scrolling about it, not watching videos about it, actually being it, writing, moving, creating, building. The identity anchor makes your day feel directional. And when your life feels like it's going somewhere, the scroll loses the plot entirely because you already have one. Pillar 3. Kill the friction gap. This is where the architecture lives. You reduce the setup cost of the things that actually matter and increase the friction on the scroll. Your guitar is already out of its case. Your journal is already open to today's page. Your running shoes are at the door. Your phone is in the other room. This is not willpower. This is engineering. And architecture beats willpower every single time. Apply these three pillars, and you don't just scroll less. You build a life so genuinely engaging that scrolling starts to feel like the boring option. That transformation is not reserved for special people in special circumstances. It is available to every single person watching this video. Here's exactly what you do in the next 24 hours. 1. Write down 3 things you used to find genuinely interesting before your phone became your hobby. Don't commit to anything yet. Just write them. 2. Pick one. Schedule 20 minutes this week to actually do it. Block it in your calendar, exactly like a meeting you cannot cancel. 3. Put your phone in a different room tonight between 8 p.m. and sleep. Don't delete anything. Just create distance. Notice what fills that space for. Identify one micro novelty you can add this week. Somewhere new. Something untried. Someone you haven't spoken to. Small is fine. Small is actually better. 5. Write this on a physical sticky note and put it somewhere you'll see it tomorrow morning. My real life is supposed to be the interesting part. The scroll will always be there. The algorithm will always improve. The apps will always get better at pulling you back. But so can you. Fun is a design problem, not a luck problem. And you are more than capable of solving it. You don't need a different life to have a better one. You just need to start designing the one you already have. The day your real life becomes more interesting than your feed, that's the day everything changes. And that day doesn't have to wait. It can start tonight. Tell me in the comments. Which step are you starting with today? I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe